Hello, welcome to another video on English 101. Today we're gonna take the past tense. The past tense, okay? So in the previous videos, we took a lot about present simple and the present progressive, but now we're just gonna go back a little bit to the past. So in the English language, there are two tenses, the past and the present. As I said before, today we're gonna take the past tense and see the uses of we're going to take the past simple and the uses of the past simple. Okay, the past tense in English is used to talk about something that happened in the past, of course, and to talk about a hypothesis, which is an idea or a theory that is not proven yet, and to talk and to be polite. So for politeness, when you're talking or when you're asking for a favor, asking somebody to do a favor, you're most likely to use the past tense. So, for example, the simple past does not always refer to the past time, but it could also be used as a polite, to be polite and asking for favors. For example, I wonder if you could give me a hand. I wonder if you could give me a hand. So we use the past simple to talk about things that happened in the past, talk about hypothesis, and for being polite. Of course, in the English language, there are four types or four forms of the past tense. We have the past simple, the past perfect, past progressive, and the past perfect progressive. So I showed you here an example. I used the same example in all the forms so you could recognize the difference between each form. Okay, the past simple, I worked. The past perfect, I had worked. The past progressive, I was working. The past perfect progressive, I had been working. So we're going to take each one and we're going to explain it with its uses, with its form. But today in this lesson, we're going to take the past simple. So the past simple form is the subject plus the base form of the verb plus ed. I guess it's clear now. We're just going to take an example. They studied hard They studied hard yesterday. They studied hard yesterday. So the word yesterday is a time expression that shows that something happened in the past. So it showed us that it happened in the past. Studied is the verb. Okay, the base form of it is study. Study ends with a Y. So when we change the word from the base form to the past, we look at the last letter. So study ends with a Y. And before the Y, there's a consonant, which is the D. So we remove the Y, we put an I, and then we add ed. So this is how it turns out. They studied hard yesterday. I guess it's clear enough. Let's go straight to the uses. So as we said before, the past simple is used to talk about something or an action that happened in the past and it ended in the past. So these actions could be single actions, or they could be repeated actions. So it could happen every day, or it could happen once a century. So it could be single or repeated actions. For example, she left her office at 5 o'clock. So it was a single action. They milked the cows every day. They milked the cows every day. Every day is the time expression that shows that it happens repeatedly. Okay, the second point, it could take a place or a moment in time, or it could be a period over a long period of time. For example, I was there last week. So that is just a moment in time. He was there at the museum or in the cinema. So he was, it's just a moment in time. But the second example, he lived in New York for 3 years. So in this example shows us that he was living over a period of time. So he lived in New York for 3 years. It shows that it's over a long period of time. Okay, the last point, or point number 2, to talk about states in the past. So to talk about states, for example, Galileo was a scientist. So the status of Galileo, he was a scientist. So that's what his job was, or that's what his status was. Second example, they looked happy. They looked happy, so that's their status, they were happy. So this is all for the uses and the uses of the past simple. Hope it's clear. See you next time in another video.